Hi everyone, it's Belinda and I just released my first EP on January 31st of 2020. So I thought it would be fun to be like Namjoon and talk a little bit about the album and the pieces and like my writing process. Hopefully you enjoy this. Hopefully you listen to my album and you enjoy it. Listen beyond the first song. Yeah. Hopefully this will be some motivation. So the EP is entitled Pretty Lies and Beautiful Smile. That's the title of the first song. And the first song, I guess we should listen to it. I can play it. It's got a really long intro on it. I feel like when I told people I was making an EP, because I'm known as like a classical pianist, they're like, are you making a piano album? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna sing on it and I'm gonna produce it. So I think we're not there yet.
Are the silent kind. Only I can hear my tears. Are the tides pulling me deeper into fears. The salt burns my wounds. Too many to be seen, 'cause I hide all the things hurting me behind these pretty lies and that beautiful smile. Look beyond my eyes, you'll see.
So that is the first song. You can listen to the rest of it. I guess these are lyrics that I think I wrote a while back. Yes, because I was trying to write a book about a band, and so these lyrics, or some of it was the line "Pretty Lies and Beautiful Smiles" was a line from the book I was writing. And I picked this song to go first and to be the title of the album because I think it reflects kind of the story of the album and the story I wanted to convey and talk about. And that's like, if you know me in person, you know me in class and stuff, I have a very different personality than I do outside, and there's a lot of things that I keep to myself. And so I kind of wanted to write about, you know, like when you look at people on the outside, they may seem to have everything put together, but on the inside there's kind of this darkness that is also there. And there's this line at towards the end. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is.
I wish I could love myself in the night. I wish I could be someone else.
So that line, so all alone, the air becomes hard to breathe, all alone, my thoughts turn suffocating in the night. I wish I could love myself in the night. I wish I could be someone else. So yes, that is me messing up my own lyrics. But I really like that because I think at the time when I was going through this, I am, you know, a person who is very interested in a million different things. And I have 3 majors. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to do that I'm interested in. And sometimes it just, especially with the music, there are times where you just feel like, I wish I wasn't the type of person who would be into music. The person who, like, as a musician, as a person who's just like, it's a lot. It takes a lot out of your like mental health. It takes a lot out of you like emotionally and physically. And sometimes it's just like, I wish I could be that person who could just be like a business major, and like, not to say business majors have it easy, but you know, to be in a field where I don't have to like agonize over the art that I create, over like whether I'll be enough to turn something in, and to be always like thinking, oh, I wish I could have done better, I wish I could have done this and that, and to feel like it's never ending. And to also just like be in this world and society where I feel like it's really hard to be an artist and to be appreciated as an artist or a musician. Of course, you have those really great musicians and artists out there that are getting recognized for their work, but you know, for everyone else who's just kind of trying to make it, or just, you know, doing it out of their love and passion, but aren't really being fully appreciated or like compensated. I know that a lot of the people that I are in like the music community around me who do, you know, gigs and stuff like that, play for weddings or events and whatever, and sometimes it can be a challenge, you know, to get fairly compensated for the work that you're putting in, just because that people don't really view it as much as being so like significant or so difficult or like so time consuming. They don't really see it. Anyways, long story short, that's kind of what that line is about, and I had it like repeat a lot, and I think it was kind of it's really catchy. I remember when I was writing this and it would never leave my mind. This song made me lose sleep because I would just keep hearing, all alone the air becomes hard to breathe, all alone. I don't even know if I sang that in the right key. Well, I just kept hearing that in my mind, or like hearing the other melodies in my mind. So for this song, I think I started with the lyrics because that's what I had first. So yeah, that's that song. Next song, it's called Into the Clouds. This is actually the second song I made for this EP, and I performed it for, it was the first song I performed for people. And into the clouds, where you can dream without any doubts, where you can dance and you'll never fall down. I want you tight by my side. I can see the light in your eyes, full of life burning brighter. Your happiness is mine, each day with you paradise. I'll do anything to see you smile. Oh, oh, together we'll go to a place where we can laugh and be free. Oh, oh, together we'll go, just you and me. You're all I need. Okay, we'll stop it there. This song, I'm a little insecure about my voice now. I feel like doing these more like upbeat, happy songs are harder. Like doing Pretty Lies and Beautiful Smiles, I think that was the where was that in the timeline of pieces I finished? I think I finished this at the end of the summer, but it was not like as difficult of a song to sing and try to be upbeat. Like I think it's easier for me to be like depressing and sad. But Into the Clouds is, I think I wrote these lyrics like a while ago, because I think I found some of the, I think the part, give me your hand, I'll lead you out of the darkness and into the clouds. I was looking through my phone because I wanted to record Serendipity by Jimin, BTS, and I was looking through my phone because I had the lyrics saved, and I came across these lyrics, and then that is how I decided to make a song out of it. And this song, I guess, is about, one of the things I wanted to do with my lyrics is to make it, to not have pronouns in it, because I wanted it to be relatable in a sense that it can be about a friendship, it can be about a familial relationship, it could be about a romantic relationship as well. And so Into the Clouds, I drew a lot on friendship. So there's this line later on the bridge where it's like, I should just pull out my lyrics so I can stop embarrassing myself by saying the wrong lyrics, you know? That would be a good idea. What is it called? What did it say when we met on that day last September? So when I thought of that line, because I was thinking about how school usually starts in September, and so I met one of my really close friends to technically when school started in September. Ta-da! So that's kind of how that line came out. So this is kind of like drawing out on friendship and just like being there for each other and having this really close, deep connection to a friend. And of course you can take it in like a romantic context as well. And that works as well. And I feel like, I mean, of course that falls with the rest of the album. I'm rambling now. But yeah, so this was like the second song that I actually produced, and it was quite a challenge. Doing like a more upbeat songs. I feel like for me, doing upbeat songs is really a challenge. Because I usually start everything on piano. Well, okay, so this one, I guess you can say the lyrics came to me first. It's been a while. I've been working on this album for a while. The lyrics came to me first, and that's usually my process. Is I either start lyrics, melody, or harmonic structure, and I write the whole song on piano with the lyrics, and then just like the verses and chorus parts, sometimes I have like an intro in mind, and that intro you usually like reuse for interludes and things like that. But I think I started with the lyrics for this as well. And it was the first and only song I have performed. I performed it back in June. I like quickly wrote it because I wanted to perform it for a army meetup. Yeah, army meetup talent show we had. So I performed it there, which was really fun. They're always super supportive. Okay, next song is called, let's see, it is Never Fade. This is the last song I actually finished for her. I wrote it a while ago. I wrote it during the summer. So I started, I guess you can say I started working on this kind of around February, because that's when I took a songwriting class. You're always by my side. My shadow, my calming tide, my best partner in crime. But despite the distance, despite the words unsaid, it makes no difference. This love will never fade away. Hey, hey, fade away. This love will never fade, never fade. So yeah, so I wrote this back, I think in August. Because I was gonna go on vacation, and I was like, my original goal was to get this thing done over the summer. Didn't happen, obviously. But I wrote this in August, and I just put off doing the production on it for a very long time. Just because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I also wanted to try, like the way I heard it in my head, it was like to have like more guitar in it, and I can't play guitar, so I just kept putting it off. And the story about this song, I guess, is I think I started with the melody on this, and it's like the bridge melody. What is it? Here it is. To your face, never said the words aloud, but I love you and I miss you. I hope those are the lyrics. Oh, I should just pull up my document with the lyrics, yeah. But that was the line I started with. Not the line, not the actual lyrics, but with the melodic line. And I feel like I just screw myself over with my melodic lines because sometimes they're really hard. Let me see where it is. Yeah, that was right. I never said the words to your face, never said the words aloud, but I love you and I miss you. I hope you read between the words, between the short messages sent. It's literally like an octave. I started like an octave up. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? Because it sounds pretty. Yeah, okay, so I actually wrote this song. I don't really remember how I came up with the lyrics. I think I did come up with the lyrics then. But I wrote it for my brother. Yeah. And so I think I was also reading, what is it, Frankly in Love at that time, and I was thinking a lot about my brother. If you read Frankly in Love by David Yoon, it's a really good book. But it's kind of about, and about like relationships I have with my family, I guess. It's like, I feel like it's kind of like an Asian cultural thing where, you know, there's a lot of words that go unsaid, and a lot of times, like, I mean, I see a lot of my friends and they're like with their parents and with their family, and their friends, they're like easily, they always say like, I love you, when they like hang up, or like things like that, when they're texting, just when they see each other. And I feel like for me it doesn't come as naturally, because I think the way that I feel love, the way my family feels love, is not always, you know, vocalized. It's, you know, just like being there, being supportive. It's asking, you know, have you eaten yet? You know, the classic have you eaten yet? Feed you a bunch of food to show your love. So that's kind of how that started. I think I wrote the bridge part first, because originally it was gonna be the verse, but then I came up with a verse. But the lines, I hope you read between the words, between the short messages sent. Because like, especially after my brother went to, I wonder if you're watching this, brother. After my brother went to college, he's going to college in California. And, oh, I remember it too. The first line, it says, I never told you I was devastated when you were leaving. When I found out he would be leaving me, and it hit me that I would not have my brother around anymore. The one who, you know, accompanies me to everything and like follows me around like little brothers do. And that was like an emotional time. I cried, no lie. Because it was just like, you know, this person who you always had by your side is leaving, but you gotta let them go, because they're gonna go out there and find out who they are and figure out their life. So that's kind of what this is about. And you're like, you know, letting them go, and you, despite the distance, despite the words unsaid, you still love them, and you'll always love them, and that love will never fade away. And, you know, also, okay, so me and my brother don't really text that much. I remember when we do, at least it's a little better now. And sometimes when we like call each other on like the occasion, no, once a semester or something like that, we actually just kind of like talk and hang out, do other stuff, and just have the phone on. But a lot of times, like, I didn't really text him, because he'd like give me one word answers, and I'm like, I'm not gonna text you if you're just gonna say one word. So so that's kind of how this song came about. Yes. So the next song is called Endless Night, and it's the longest song on my album. I remember writing this. I think I gave it like multiple different intros before. Oh, I know why. Because I was trying to go after that, like, if you know Jamais Vu by BTS, and it has that, like, I think you'll be able to see the influence, but it has kind of that synthesizer. Oh, that's loud.
I know it's not. I know I'm not. My lungs breathe despite the ache. A permanent smile stays on my face, but inside there's pain. Inside I'm afraid. Please give me strength to survive this endless night as I wander, as I wander. Please hold me tight while I stumble through my mind as I wonder, as I wonder. These waves.
I'll just pause it there because it's been a minute. Yeah, so this is the longest song. This is obviously about being depressed and being sad. A lot of these lyrics, I had a really tough fall semester of my 4th year of college. So this is my 5th year of college. Really tough. Like, really mentally horrible. And so in the depths of that darkness, I came up with a lot of these lyrics. And And yeah, so that's what this is about. And but I think, you know, as sad as this song is, I feel like it is also very hopeful. And it's about, you know, those sad times, but it's also about, you know, having a person that can be your support. At the end of the chorus it says, "Your warmth you give me comfort, your heart brings me back to life." And so that's just like, it does have a hopeful message, and I hope that you see that through my album. Like, despite all of the sad things, there's kind of that hopeful message underlying it. And so this song, obviously I wrote the lyrics like way before I started, but I think like I really struggled. Actually, no, I remember I really struggled with this song. I had different lyrics that I ended up with than I started with, but I think I started with the chorus, and it's "Peace give me strength to survive this endless line." And I kept messing up with like the original lyrics I wrote. I don't have my notebook with me here, so I don't really remember. It was like, please. I don't remember. It's probably on my phone in the draft somewhere. We'll not dig up that stuff. But yeah, so this, I mean, this kind of continues the story from the beginning of Pretty Lies and Beautiful Smells, you know, and having like internalized a lot of this. Oh, this is the semester when I realized, like I realized how it's possible to feel so much pain inside yourself that you wish that it can kind of manifest in the physical. Like I finally understood kind of how that happens to people, just because, like, I don't know, like the pain you feel inside, it's like non-tangible. You can't hold it, and it doesn't like go away. Like if you get into like an accident, you like scrape your knee, and then like, and it hurts, like, you know, for a bit, and then it just eventually goes away and it heals and it becomes a scar, and then it's over. But it's like this pain you feel inside just like holds on to you and grips you, and it just hurts so much, but you just can't explain it. And so I think when I was writing the lyrics to this, that was kind of what I was feeling. Like it was just like, so I was going through such a tough time that I don't know, it was hard. I'm just saying, it was a tough time. College is hard. There's a lot of things piled on you. But I can say my favorite lines are, what are they? The bridge part where it's, "My head's above water and yet I'm drowning. The sun still rises but the dawn's not coming. The map's in my hands but I'll keep on wandering, keep on wandering, keep on wandering." And I guess the thing is like, you know, sometimes when you're in that dark space that of like self-hatred and like not self-love, you don't want to leave. Like, you can leave technically, but you just want to like sit there and like continue brooding, and like life just sucks, and you just want to listen to sad music and do nothing and like do nothing. So that's kind of like how that came about. So like, you know, my head's above water and yet I'm still drowning. And I feel like you'll get the answer to this a little later on my last song. But that's kind of, you know, where that came about. And I really just like the whole contradiction of those two lines. You know, like the sun still rises but the dawn's not coming. That's one of my favorite lines. Because the sun is still, you know, rises, but, you know, for me, when you're in that dark space, it just, you know, feels like it's never ending and the dawn's never coming. And the map's in your hands, you know, where, you know, I mean, there's a way out of this, but you just can't bring yourself to do it, to get out of it. But then the hopeful thing comes in, because it's like, you know, I also realized at that point that it's important to have people there for you. Like me, I've been always like a very independent person, and I still am a very independent person. And for me, it's very hard just because I think, you know, how I grew up, you don't really share so much how you're feeling, or like these like, my mom was very much a person who was like, yeah, just be happy. If you're sad, just stop being sad and be happy. And I feel like she's, you know, evolved and kind of grown from that. But it was kind of hard getting like out of that mindset, and, you know, being able to actually share how I feel with people, and to find friends who you feel safe and supported with as well. So it's like, keep on wandering to you, who gave me strength, my friends who helped me through that moment, I guess, and just like are there for you. And of course, you can also take us, you know, in the familial context, in the romantic context, in the friendship context. The only pronoun is you. So yeah, that's that song. Next song, Stay. A lot of people really like this song, and I'm like, I do. I just struggled making this for so long that it's like, and also, you know, I curse my melodic writing.
All the times you said you loved me, how could I believe it was the truth? Was I a fool? All the nights I'd lie awake, remembering how it felt to be beside you,
To be held by you.
Now every breath I take brings back the memories we made. Everywhere I go, I keep on seeing your face. All the dreams we shared, you promised to be there. Every step of the way, you broke your word, you didn't stay. You didn't stay. You didn't stay. You didn't stay. You didn't stay.
That cursed D. Oh, the amount of times I've re-recorded this, that is also the struggle. Is because I used the studio at my school, and anyone who has access to the studio, we're all on like the same computer if you use the school computer. And it's like the biggest struggle, because there's sometimes it's like, you know, you're working on this thing, you have your settings set, everything's great. Next time you come, someone else came in and like changed all the settings. Like I was working on towards the end of the album, and I came in, it was like my last week before I left for my study abroad, and the person unplugged the monitors, and I was like, I don't know how to do this. How do I plug the monitors back in? And I was like trying to text my like old songwriting teacher. I'm like, help me, because this is not working. I got one monitor to work, not both of them, which is annoying. But so that's kind of why it took so many takes. But also that melody, I'm like, because I literally go from B below C up to below middle C up to D5. I think it's D5. Yeah. So that's like an octave and a third in like the span of a very short time. So tip for songwriters, you know, probably for me in the future, stop writing hard melodies, so you don't have to re-record it like a billion times. But this song is a breakup song. Yeah, and I think for me, who hasn't really had romantic relationships, I try to think a lot about friendship breakups, because those are also like difficult. And it's like, you know, having this friend that you're really close to, and you're like, we're gonna grow up together. I don't know if I'm actually making this up or if I actually thought of this at the time. But you know, like I guess, you know, I do have some friends that I was like, you know, you grew up together, you go to middle school, high school together, and then you like start drifting apart, and you're like, but we had all these like goals and like dreams, things we wanted to do together, and you just left and ghosted me. Don't ghost people. It's very not nice. I know it's hard, but it's better to be straight up with people. So that's kind of what it's basically about. It's like, you know, having this person that you were really close to and that you shared a lot of yourself with, and this person who you like depended on, who really like was your support, and now they left, they didn't stay. And you're kind of torn between like your anger and your like being upset, and with, you know, wishing that they did stay, because it hurts. Like at the end you'll hear me trying to layer my voice with like, you didn't stay and please stay, and it's like they're gone but you wish that they were still here, like you're still holding on to them, because I feel like it's not easy, you know, breaking up with people, whether that is in like whatever context that is in, especially if there's someone who really meant a lot to you and someone who's really close to you, and you're like, why did you leave me? You didn't stay, and I'm mad at you because you didn't stay, but please stay, come back. Yeah, so that was like the first song I wrote. And this, oh, I actually remember a little more of the making of it. I started with harmonic structure on this one, which was really interesting because harmony is hard for me. Melody is pretty easy. Harmony is hard. And it came off of, I think it is Chopin's Winter Wind, to be honest, because I was playing the bass line on that, I think. Or was it the Ocean A2? Well, I was playing some Chopin. I want to say it's Winter Wind because I wrote it in the spring and that's what I was playing. So I was like just playing around with the bass line on probably that piece. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I came up with a melody. And then I came up with, I think, another melody. And eventually it came to getting the lyrics and then putting it on the computer. And this is the song I wrote for my songwriting class. Yeah, that was it. It was fun. It was a struggle. And I'm still not happy with my voice on this. And I feel like that's kind of a lot of, well, there's some songs where I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm really happy with what my voice is. I think if you know, if you don't really pay attention too closely to it, it's not bad. But I'm trying to, you know, like remind myself, you know, the people you hear on the radio, those like really popular musicians, they literally have teams of professionals. Like you have your like producer person, you have your like mixing engineer, you have your mastering engineer. They're literally like specified to do this thing, recording engineers, and like they'll record things like line by line, and I'm like, if only I was good enough at this equipment that I could record things line by line, because it's like, oh, you messed up, here we go, let's record the entire verse again. Or sometimes I have my whole verse, like I have a verse going into the chorus and there's really no time to do it. Like I think it's like for this song, because you didn't stay, because it goes pretty quickly into the chorus. How it felt to be beside you, to be held by you. No. Okay, I'm not gonna sing because it's not really working out right now. My throat's kind of sore. But yeah, so it's like for this one. And the thing is, it goes straight into You Didn't Stay, which is like the really hard part, where you're like going over an octave, and it's like, if you mess up that dumb deep note, and you have to re-record the entire first verse, chorus, and that. I guess it's more like a pre-chorus. The first verse, the pre-chorus, and the chorus. It's a struggle. Yeah, and you know, they also use like auto-tune, and I like cannot really figure out how to use auto-tune like without making it sound weird. So I was just like, okay, you just have to sing it in tune, and it's mostly in tune. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, moving on to the next song. This is I finished this as the second to last song that I finished. And I really want it to be, like, if you've listened to some of BTS's, like, if you listen to some of BTS's, like, SoundCloud stuff, or like Winter Bear, or like Jin's This Night Tonight song, or also like J-Hope's Blue Side. I kind of wanted my outro to be a bit more like that, a little bit more like atmospheric, I guess is one way to describe it. And so there's, or like serendipity. If you listen to how Namjoon describes serendipity, like there's no real high in the original serendipity, not the like full-length version. There's no like real big main climactic part, and that's kind of what I wanted for mine. Or if you listen to like Blue Side, it's very like, it's very repetitive. It's pretty much like the same chords again and again, like that intro thing.
Take one step at a time.
Dun 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 dun. It's like an ostinato. But I think it also works with what I want to convey with this song. And so we have gone through the whole story now, from Pretty Lies and Beautiful Smile, from being this, you know, you're this person who has like a lot, hiding a lot on the inside, and a lot of sadness and pain. But on the outside, everything seems like pretty okay. It's, you know, like the illusion. I think that was what I was coming up with, 'cause the illusion of, you know, who you present, what people see you as. People generally see me as a very positive person, and I do want to come off more as a positive person. Like a lot of times, especially on if you're following me on Instagram, like I want to be positive, because I feel like there's already a lot of negative energy in the world, and that's just like kind of the person I want to be. I want to have like a positive impact. And so when there are kind of darker things going on behind the curtain inside of me, or like things that I don't like, things that upset me, I just, you know, keep them to myself, because I do want to put out more positive energy into the world instead of negative. So yeah, so that's a Pretty Lies and Beautiful Smiles. Like I said, it sets the tone of it, and Into the Clouds and Never Fades, like, you know, we're living in this happy perspective of who I am, of who this person is, and you know, that's what the world sees, that's what their partner sees. Just, you know, they see this happier side of you, and then, you know, as you progress through, see, the people are not listening to the rest of the album. You should listen to the rest of the album. As you progress through the songs and you peel back these layers, you see that how like everything is not as it seems. And so with It Takes Time, this is kind of the answer to what I was talking about in Endless Night, where it's like, what I realized in that dark semester of my life, some of the things that I just needed to, you know, forgive myself and be like, it's okay that this is not going how you want it to be, and it's like okay to give yourself, this is like the thing, it's okay to give yourself time. I feel like I am a very, like, one of those people, I'm not very like outwardly emotional. I'm a very chill person, I would like to say. Most of the things are okay. Nothing too like too happy and nothing too like sad. I'm usually just like middle of okay. But the thing is, when something bad happens, on the scale of 1 to 100 of like how okay you are, like how you're feeling, and you're like usually around, this is 100, this is 0, you're usually like you know, in here, floating around here. So when something bad happens, it's not like you just go down like 10%. It's like phew, down to 0 automatically. So that is what this song about. But the thing is, like, in those moments, everything feels really hard. Like, it feels devastating. But if you give yourself time, if you take time, if you, like, forgive yourself. I think, what are the lyrics to this song? Take one step at a time, be present, be patient, it's okay to cry. This was also the thing, because I was a lot was going through my mind during that dark time of my life. Although these lyrics are all, I wrote this pretty quickly. The whole be present, be patient, because I think there was a point where I was very, very anxious about a lot of things. And also, like, I used to think a lot about the past. But the thing is, you can't change the past. Oh, this is also a line. You can't predict the future. You can't relive past scenes. So you can't change the past. And the more you think about it, you're just kind of like reliving the past, and you're not living. This is really what helped me, this like idea. The more you think about the past, you're not living in the present. You're like reliving the past, but you can't change the past. And then you can't predict the future. So like the more you think about the future, you're living in the future, not in the present. You can't, like, nothing that you predict in the future is really gonna happen exactly the way you want it anyways. So for me, as a person who's like very like thinks a lot, like way too much, is this like this idea that kind of brought me more comfort, and just like encouraged me to be more present, live in the moment, because I mean those things are out of your control. I think that was the other thing. It's like you gotta think about what you can control and what you can't. So the past you can't control. The future, I mean, you can have some control over, but it's never gonna be like, you can't predict it. It's not gonna be, you know, as your mind comes up with it. So just giving away, like just realizing that was really helpful for me. So that's why I put it on this song. And like, be present, be patient. It's okay to cry. And I feel like I was talking about before with, like, you know, the scale of okay to like dropping when something bad happens, is like to just, for me, I realize, you know, in that moment it feels like a lot. Like there's this one time, like I got like my assignment got mixed up, and I think I like cried for 3 hours trying to fix it, and like didn't work. But then I'm like, here I am now, everything's okay, and everything worked out. But like, you know, in that moment when something bad happens, it just feels like extremely devastating. But you know, in time, these things, these like emotions, these like feelings will pass, and you like look back on it and you're like, wow, that was just such a small thing. And then, well, and probably in a couple of years I might not even remember it at all. So that thing that was just like absolutely heartbreakingly devastating in a couple years, and like I mean a couple days, I mean after a week it was like pretty fine. I was a little like annoyed about it, but like when you give yourself time, it takes time. That's like why it repeats. It just repeats. It takes time. It's like, you know, if you give yourself space and time, I think things will kind of work out. But I really like the lyrics. It takes time to learn. I think those are the lyrics I started with. It takes time to learn how to fly. It takes time to see through the clouds in my mind, to see the sunshine on the other side. So I think this song is about that, about giving yourself time and space to grow, to learn, to move on. And I think that's kind of the answer, I guess, to the whole story of my album, which you should listen through to get, of yeah, of like, you know, coming from like a darker place, and, you know, realizing to forgive yourself, to give yourself time, to give yourself space to heal. Yeah, that is my album. Well, I was just kind of making this up as I went, so hopefully that was enjoyable. Hopefully it wasn't too long. But I hope you enjoy my album. I hope you find comfort in it. I hope you find the lyrics to be relatable. I hope you find the story to be insightful. I'm glad I finally got to release it after waiting for all this time. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do some songwriting. And thank you to BTS for like actually kind of encouraging me to finally take it up. Thank you to all my friends who have helped me along the way, who listened to it and supported me. Really appreciate you, really love you a lot. Thank you to everyone who is watching this, everyone who on Bookstagram who has been following me throughout my life and all the ups and downs. Yeah, so I will say bye now.